Hello, thank you all for joining us today. Special guest is Patty N, who is a former
Hey.
employee of Harvey Adelson's. Thank you, Patty, for being here.
Oh, I'm glad to. I'm glad to be here. My favorite channel.
Yeah, and there's been so many developments in this case. Like, how do you feel about all the latest news?
I know. It's like I don't know. It seemed like when they had to postpone this case, we were like, "Oh man, what are we all going to do for?"
I know. It's like
Wait a minute, I'm getting feedback. Sorry about that. Yeah. And I thought, oh wow, poor Judy. What's she going to do to keep busy all this time for Adelson news? And then before you know it, it just seems like a blink of an eye. You've done really good, Judy. I don't know how you kept it going, but you did, finding motions and keeping us all up to date. And now all of a sudden the case is really cranking with these motions and trying to Donna trying to get out on bail and Bree. All this news, I'm just now actually hearing some of it myself.
Yeah, so we have a lot of random things to talk about today. So
Yeah.
this is like the case that keeps on giving because Donna seems to have almost unlimited funds. So of course she's willing to pay her attorneys to file everything, make motions, take all these depositions. I think her attorneys are flying to Texas to take Wendi's deposition because it sounded like the deposition is going to take place at some sort of like legal center where you can rent out conference rooms and they provide court reporters. And the prosecutors are going to be on Zoom, but I'm pretty sure Wendi's attorneys will be there in person. That's what I would do if my client had the money to pay me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Donna's performance on the stand when she was complaining about jail and claiming that she had been touched by someone, somebody tried to extort her?
I have a lot of trouble drumming up any sympathy for her. And even when I do, in a rare moment when I do have sympathy, I right away think, but she killed Dan. She killed Dan Markel. Allegedly, I guess I have to say allegedly, but I think she did it. I think she did. I think there's evidence that she did it. And yeah, it is. It's a case that keeps on giving. And it's the twists and turns are so strange. It's almost like a case, if you heard about it in the news, you wouldn't believe it, but it would be, they got to make a movie out of this.
Yeah, or some sort of like Netflix series. People would be like, this is a crazy story. Who wrote this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just for people who haven't watched your previous interviews, what was the extent of your dealings with Donna in the past?
Oh, well, I worked for Harvey one day a week as his hygienist, and I would only see Donna, I guess, if she happened to come in the office, but I mean, she rarely did. I pretty much never saw her. And then there was a problem with my paycheck, and I was kind of mad about it, and they knew it. And so instead of making me wait till the following week to get paid, they sent Donna with my check to another office the next day that I worked in. And that was mainly my interaction with her coming right into my operatory while I was working on someone to hand me this check. She just waltzed in like she owns the place. Like it wouldn't even dawn on her to think that person deserved privacy. I don't know. I didn't like her, and like I said, I was already mad about what happened with my paycheck, and so yeah, that was my only interaction with her. And I have to say, she was probably perfectly pleasant and doing me a favor, but I was rude to her. I was rude to her. I have to admit it because I was mad. But that's it. That's very. I had more interaction with Harvey and Donna. What I know of Donna is really, but pretty much you all, like seeing her, hearing her wiretaps, and that's the other thing. When you feel sorry for her at all, if you do, think about those things she said on those emails. That's what I think about. I think about what a all the names she called him. And that's why, boy, when they play those, when they read, I hope they have her read her emails, because she can't explain her way out of that. Those are her words, and she wants to act like this demure little old lady who's getting hurt and threatened in the jail, and she's just so sweet. And no, she's not.
Yeah, but she'll probably just say, of course I was upset. These were just private emails between myself and Wendi, and I was mad because Dan was doing all these horrible things and mistreating my daughter. So yeah, but it's just incredible how stupid she is, that she, just like Charlie, left a paper trail or had all these phone calls. There's just so much evidence that just comes together, the puzzle pieces that will, in my opinion, convict her. Yeah. So Janet wants to know, what did you think when you saw Harvey? Did you see him on the video too?
Yeah, I saw it on the video. I hope he comes back for the trial, because I would like to see him in person. But yeah, he's just plain sad. I mean, the whole family, I mean, take a family that really had everything, and certainly everything money could buy, and then they just ruined it, ruined their lives. How can you feel sorry for them? They made these choices. It's shocking. It's shocking to think everything they have, and they just risked it.
Yeah, because you just look at Harvey standing there, and he looks so old and beaten down. His suit jacket looked like it was ill-fitting.
Oh,
like, geez,
yeah.
they were probably imagining a beautiful retirement, enjoying their grandchildren, traveling to fun places besides Vietnam, just enjoying their old age. And instead, his wife is here, wearing shackles and a jail uniform, and she's going to be on trial for murder. So where did things go wrong? Why did they think they could get away with it? So, yeah. But just to answer somebody mentioned something about Donna and a Catholic babysitter. I don't think they didn't actually hire the Catholic babysitter, but she did have that idea to Wendi, like have a teenage Catholic church member and parents to take care of the kids while you're fixing dinner, etc., or helping
and talk to them about Jesus.
Teach the young man about Jesus. Yeah, that's what she wanted to do, to try to make Dan upset to the point that he would let her move to South Florida. That didn't make sense to me, but she has pretty crazy thoughts. Yeah. So, but just to show the newest filing, Patty, would you be so kind as to read a little bit from the top plus the end?
Okay. Well, I'll start reading, and then you tell me if you want me to skip some of the middle.
Okay.
Okay.
Just read the first page and the last few pages.
Okay. Okay. Defendant Donna Adelson, by and through her undersigned counsel, requests that this honorable court exclude the court file in the dissolution of marriage case Adelson versus Markel, Leon County case, blah, blah. And in support thereof states as following. 1, Mrs. Adelson has been indicted in this case with 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and 1 count of solicitation of first-degree murder. 2, the state has listed as Exhibit 60 divorce filing, indicating their intent to admit the entire court file in Adelson versus Markel, Leon County case number, blah, blah. By this motion, Mrs. Adelson moves to exclude and or limit state's Exhibit 60. 4, although Section 90 Florida statutes permits a party to ask a court to take judicial notice of court files, the contents of the court file and the documents contained therein must still be admissible. The contents must be relevant. Additionally, documents which contain hearsay are still inadmissible. Number 5 is in Stoll versus State. The court held that the statements contained in certain filings go to motive of the defendant then on trial, Although such an argument could overcome the relevancy issue addressed above, the state must still establish their admissibility as either an exception to hearsay or as non-hearsay. Okay, so you want me to skip a page here? Go to page 4, Judy?
Sure. I'll just kind of scroll down slowly, but
Okay.
this has appeared on other channels already. So.
Okay. 15. Statements purportedly made by Mrs. Adelson are admissions. However, statements made by her grandsons to Mr. Markel are hearsay. Wait a minute. Statements the grandsons made are hearsay. Okay, but if he overheard her like saying stupid's on the phone, that's not hearsay. He heard it. Okay. The statements in Mr. Markel's court filings are also hearsay. Section 90.805 Florida statutes requires the proponent of the statement to assert valid exceptions for each level of hearsay to render the statement admissible. With respect to the alleged statements repeated by the 3- and 4-year-old grandchildren to Mr. Markel, and which Mr. Markel placed in the court file, there are 2 levels of hearsay the state must overcome for the documents to be admissible. Even if there is an exception for one level of hearsay, there is no exception for the second level of hearsay. In 17, in Nowak versus State, the court reversed the defendant's second-degree murder conviction where the trial court permitted a detective to testify to what a co-defendant said the defendant stated about shooting the victim. The court recognized that what the defendant said to the co-defendant was an admission. However, there was no valid hearsay exception to allow the detective to testify to what the co-defendant said to the detective. The state has previously argued that Mr. Markel's statements in the court file were not hearsay pursuant to Section 90.801 of the Florida statutes because they are not being admitted for the truth of the matter asserted, but rather go to the defendant's motive. Simply stated, the statements go to the state of mind of the listener. In such circumstances, statements by Mr. Markel in his counter motion and other filings would not be hearsay to establish Mrs. Adelson's state of mind if the state can establish Mrs. Adelson knew the statements had even been made. Blackwood versus State, the victim's statements to the defendant were relevant to establish the defendant's motive. Eugene versus State, victim's emails to the defendant were relevant to demonstrate the email's impact on the defendant. Absent evidence, that's number 20, absent evidence establishing Mrs. Adelson was aware of Mr. Markel's March 26, 2014 counter motion, the state cannot admit that motion as substantive evidence in Mrs. Adelson's trial. The state can't admit that. Okay. Wherefore, the defendant, Donna Adelson, respectfully requests that this honorable court grant this motion in limine, entering an order excluding and or limiting admission of the court file from Adelson versus Markel, Leon County case and that number, and for such further relief as is just and proper. The undersigned certifies that he emailed this, blah, blah. They object.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Patty. It's just so hard for me to keep talking. And like
Yeah,
I said, I just had a consultation this afternoon that kind of wiped out most of my voice. So yeah, there's some things I wanted to point out. I didn't have time to find these cases and read them today because I have work to do. But like that one case that they're citing to, that's like a totally different situation, this Nowak versus State, because that has to do with what the defendant supposedly said about shooting the victim. So it's not a comment where Donna told the kids, you know, I'm going to conspire to murder Dan Markel. That's what they want to introduce. Rather, they're going to introduce parts of the court record where Dan Markel was clearly upset about some of Donna's alleged actions and what she had said. So therefore, he was trying to restrict her visitation to supervise visits. So, it's kind of like not a good analogy for them to pull out this one case because it's a different situation. And also, as most of us rabid followers of the case know, this is like totally false here. So they're saying that, insinuating that there is no evidence that Donna knew about this motion. She clearly knew about the motion because based on what Kappelman asked Wendi at Charlie's trial, it looked like Wendi had emailed that motion to 12 people, which included her mother. So her mother was clearly knowledgeable and totally involved with this whole court case, the whole divorce case and all the custody relocation things. I heard that Donna was actually there at the relocation hearing too, and she was so angry after the hearing. You saw her emails, which I read, where Donna was rabid about the court proceedings and how things weren't going their way, how the kids could move away because of gibbers. So I think it's pretty easy for the state to prove that, yes, Donna knew about this motion. And they also did depose Rob Adelson quite a while back. So I'm assuming Rob could also testify as to how involved Donna was with Wendi and Dan's case and how she knew every single thing that was going on. She was talking to the attorneys, showing up to court hearings or at least one court hearing and constantly in Wendi's ear about what was going on. So she definitely knew about Dan Markel's motion, the grandma motion. So, are you okay, Patty? You suddenly dropped off there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I did pick up my phone, but I didn't think I touched anything, and I was just out. I just was.
Okay.
I just had to log back in.
Oh, thank you. I was like, oh no, Patty disappeared, and we just started. So.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So anyway, I was kind of glad that Mentor Lawyer Deep Dive went ahead and did a video late last night about this, because his opinion is that this motion is going to be denied. That it's pretty clear that this whole court file, altogether shows how much litigation was going on between Dan and Wendi, and that's the motive behind Donna and the family members wanting to kill him. So I think it's very relevant. So it takes it out of the hearsay rule because it's not being used to show the proof of or prove the truth of the matter asserted, but rather to show her motive, even if only a part of it had to do specifically with Donna. So let's see. Yeah. Hey, Dave. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You guys all have such great comments. Unfortunately, I don't think I have time to show everybody's comments. Yeah, Wendi drove out of her way to the crime scene. She lied about driving by Dan's house. She told Hysom she drove by. Then on the stand, she made up the tape at Centerville. Yeah, so she did her state turn or whatever, let's see. Yeah, Donna did go to the court proceedings. At the very least, I know that she went to the relocation hearing and was livid. I think that was from Stephen Epstein's book. Yeah, so she was a signatory witness on the final divorce docs. Yep. She was very, very enmeshed in Wendi's life as well as Wendi's court case with Dan. Yeah. If Wendi was caught lying, then yeah, that's right. Except, I've mentioned this before that she is always very cagey and very careful in the way she answers things. So she won't answer questions with a straight yes or no. Instead, it would be like, I think so, or I don't really remember, or maybe, with all these kind of like, qualifying words.
Yeah.
So how do you prove that she's really lying? Maybe she really forgot. So it becomes hard to say that, her immunity is off the table now because she told different stories, because she could just say, well, that's what I thought at that time, but my memory's bad because it's been, 10 years or 11 years or something. So, yeah, so that could be hard in the future for the prosecutors to try to pinpoint, what did she really lie about and what information was gathered from her testimony versus from other sources. But yeah, because I mean, just in general, it seems like her testimony was always very wishy-washy, likes to dance around the question and, just act like she doesn't know for sure, or she can't remember this or that. So yeah, so it's hard to get people on perjury. So yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's going to
that's
be
true.
cool if Georgia asks her her question about how did you feel when your motion was denied to move back down there, and Wendy says, "Oh, I was relieved. Oh, I like my job." She said, "I like my job," and she likes Tallahassee, right? It's going to be neat if Georgia gets her to say that, and then they interview some of Wendy's friends, and one after another have them all saying how she did nothing but complain about hating Tallahassee. It's like some of this stuff that she lied about. It's almost like they only have to prove a little bit, and it just shows that she's a liar in general.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because with that former friend, the attorney, Sarah, I think, or I hope she can
Me too.
bolster Lacasse's testimony about
Yep.
how Wendy totally hated Tallahassee. She was always complaining about it and saying that she couldn't have her leave as long as Dan was still there and they had joint custody. So hopefully that's another witness, as well as Rob, her older brother. Yeah. So I'll take this off the screen. Most people think that it should be denied. So hopefully that's like not going to be a big deal in the case. Oh, hi Harley, thanks for being there. I wanted to mention this about Wendi driving by the crime scene. Yeah, so Harley had the idea where he sent me it's sort of like Charlie. He like sent me instructions. Did you wear gloves and print this on a different printer? Well, he did. So Harley sent me instructions in the mail as well as a prepaid debit card. So he told me to go out and buy some. It wasn't bullet bourbon. It was like Bacardi spiced rum. And so I was supposed to go out there and buy this rum from the ABC liquor store, and I never buy rum. So I was like, because I'm not a heavy drinker, so I didn't know how to buy it. So he got some sort of text or notification as soon as I purchased the rum. But it's still kind of iffy, though. I kind of feel like Wendi and Charlie were probably a little bit too sloppy because they were still texting and WhatsApping and making phone calls. Plus, I'm not sure if they had that kind of function back in 2014 where you could get a text notification on your cell phone when somebody used your credit card or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, but that's definitely a good idea, for people who want to relay messages to each other, to have some sort of prepaid debit card that is hooked up with the person's cell phone number or something. Yeah, but so I know I'm jumping around, but I saw this other YouTuber who made a video guessing how the police found Wendi at the lunch with her friends. But I'm pretty sure I know the actual answer. So her guess was that the police just followed her all the way to lunch after seeing her car go by. But I'm pretty sure that is not the case because the officer who testified, Officer Brandon, never said anything about someone jumping in their police car and following her as soon as they saw what appeared to be her minivan. But based on the Epstein book, from what I remember, the police quickly found out, I think through Geiger, through the neighbor, that Dan Markel was a law professor. So they called the law school. The law school people told them about Wendi because Wendi worked there also. So that's how they quickly found her cell phone number. And through the pings of her cell phone, they tracked her to Mosaic,
the restaurant.
So that's how they found Wendi. So anyway, just thought I would mention that in case some people still keep wondering how they find her so quickly.
I've seen a lot of people ask that. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay. Wouldn't states' immunity for Wendi only apply to the state's direct and defense cross, but not apply if she was subpoenaed directly by the defense? I'm not sure. I mean, this is kind of out of my league. I had a feeling, I thought that, well, she's being subpoenaed by the state, so it's kind of a moot question anyway. So she gets immunity for testifying. So anyway, so she does have immunity now. But if the state just wanted to, or if the defense wanted to call her, then she wouldn't have that immunity. So that's right. And that brings to mind with Wendi's deposition, that is being requested by Donna's attorneys. So I'm pretty sure she's going to do the same thing that she did when Coas and DeCoste questioned her, which was to just keep saying, I assert, I assert my Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. So she's probably going to do the same thing during the deposition that's coming up soon in Texas. Yeah. Okay, so Harley's saying you'd get an email that the card has been used. That's been a function for a credit card since emails. Now I'm finding out Donna was paying. Oh, okay. Is that true? Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. Well, she was doing. Called the Geek Squad for her too. Like she couldn't handle it herself. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Donna said she wasn't paying her Wendi's lawyer and paying for her food, right?
Yeah, paying for the kids' food, and she wanted to keep receipts so that they could like use it in court, so she could get reimbursed. I mean, it's just so greedy and penny pinching.
Yeah, it seems to me when Wendi moved out and took half of their bank account, it was over $350,000. I have no idea why she needs mommy to pay for her kids' food.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just Donna being like such a penny pincher that she wanted to keep track of, all the food she was buying for Dan and Wendi's kids, because it just goes to show how evil Dan was, that he wasn't paying for those snacks and stuff that she was serving them. Yeah. So what do you think of this, Patty? Do you guys think it's likely Charlie will turn on Wendi or hold out for his appeal?
I think it's more likely he would turn on her than his mom, than Donna.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. It's really, you keep thinking they would because they might get a better sentence, but they're so darn arrogant. I think they just can't at all admit they did it. They can't have any part of saying, you're right, we did this. They're going to deny doing it to their dying day in jail.
Yeah, I think they're all too arrogant, and they always just make up their own sense of reality and keep repeating it to themselves. So I don't see either of them turning, although maybe Charlie might once all his appeals are exhausted, maybe. Yeah, but I don't see Donna doing it. She seems really stuck on her ways.
I think that they turn on each other. It has to be advantageous to the state. And I think if the state feels like they have enough evidence on Donna, they don't have to give anybody any deals or anything.
Yeah, because she's already 75. So what kind of deal would they want to offer someone for first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation? It's not like they're going to be like, oh, time served, or here, how about 1 year in prison and then you get scot-free. I don't think they would go for that. So
Right. I think this trial is going to be electric. I just can't wait to be there. I hope Robert testifies. All the
yeah,
kids will be there. If Charlie's there, they're going to bring him down, I think, right? They're
yes,
bringing
yeah,
Charlie back
there's waiting
down.
for her to
Wendi will be
transport.
there.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
Patty, going back to what you said that you were looking forward to seeing Harvey at trial. Do you think you would even go up to him and say anything or not?
I might. Yeah, I might. I've been thinking about it. But yeah, I might. I mean, I feel like if he saw my interview about him, that first one I did with you, Judy, I felt like I went to pains to be fair. Like I said the good things about him as well as the weird or bad stuff I noticed about him. So I don't know. I don't see. Yeah, I think I would say hi to him.
Yeah, but did you hear about how he treated his longtime old friend? According to the police records, there was that friend Clark who Charlie falsely accused of sexually harassing him. So then
Oh,
Harvey just
yeah.
turned on the guy and acted like he was ready to fight him.
Wanted to physically fight him. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
like got him
yeah.
in his face.
Yeah, knowing that, I might chicken out actually because they all talk about how he has a temper. Harvey has a temper. So
Yeah, that
I
would
would
be
like to say
crazy if
hi
you
though.
went up to him in the courtroom and then he blows a fuse or tries to act like he's getting ready to assault you or well, I don't know. He probably has more self-control than to do that in a courtroom, but I think that would be really awkward to see him after what, 40 years or something? 39 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
86, almost 40 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what did you think about his looks when you saw him on the
Well,
hearing video?
he didn't. I didn't think he looked good. I mean, I knew just his coloring and his face. I knew he was going to look old because he's 80 years old. But what I was surprised about was the ill-fitting jacket. That looked like it made him look like a bum from the street. Like I don't know why he couldn't wear a nicer looking jacket. I don't know what that is. Is that supposed to show the judge he's so upset over his innocent wife he hasn't been eating and he's lost? Like, is this all
Yeah.
for
Yeah, because
show?
the domestic coordinator is not there to help him pick out his wardrobe and take care of him anymore. I mean, I do
Oh,
wonder, like, who's helping him? Is it Janice? I mean, people are saying that that was Janice.
I
Janice
don't know because
Adelaide.
Wendy sure
Huh?
didn't stick her. Wendy sure didn't
Yeah.
stick around to help
Yep.
out with his dad.
She's off living her great life in Texas now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is there no information about her in Austin? Like nobody ever reports on seeing her or I mean, they say she's there for sure, but we don't know anything else. Like she doesn't work. We don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like she has a real job or nothing that's public because, otherwise you would see her name on a law firm website or
Yeah.
whatever employer. Yeah, who knows? I mean, it sounds like she doesn't really have to work. And it also sounded like she hasn't had a real job for several years since she quit
Right.
that vault health job. Yeah, just collecting the social security benefits for the kids and family money. And according to Fancy, she's living with her boyfriend. So maybe the boyfriend's helping to support them and we got the lease or the house in his name. So
Yeah.
yeah. And isn't that funny? Yeah. I mean, I guess voter registration records were supposed to be public. So you would think
Right.
that she would have cared enough about voting to register as a voter in Texas, or maybe she voted in Florida by absentee
Oh,
ballot. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Because her Florida State Bar address is still to a Miami P.O. box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, may have changed. Yeah, didn't she tell Georgia Cappleman maybe she would change all their names
Right.
again or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? maybe she took on Jacob's or the boyfriend's last name. I have no idea. Yeah. Why is there no paparazzi? Well, I doubt that Wendi is all getting into the Jewish community, but I do have sort of like a family connection who goes to a Jewish community center in Austin. So she also follows the Markel case. So I'm sure if she ever ran into Wendi at some Jewish function, she would tell me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Austin is a pretty big city. And so I don't know, maybe she's lying low and she's not working and just, getting to know people, and who knows, she could be telling them a different name so they're not Googling, to figure out this whole case. Yeah. The wealthy boyfriend. Well, Fancy Fiction, who has sources, she said that it is not the son of that rich guy. Was it Mike Fernandez or something? Somebody that she had previously worked for. So it's this guy, George, who supposedly works in IT, I think. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just think of all the legal bills. Yeah. So she has some boyfriend who I guess has that type of personality, not to really question things and just believes her, I think. Just our opinions. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, Pishan Fama. We were on Misha Chanise's live stream today, and Bishan Mama said something about how Jerry Oped was in the hot tub with Lacasse and them. So I didn't remember that, but thank you for that detail. Doesn't it sound kind of gross, like all these people all sitting in a hot tub together? It just sounds so disgusting to me. I mean, would you want to sit with Charlie in a hot tub? Ew.
No, heck no. Who knows how many STIs are in that water? I guess the heat would kill it, but ew, cooties majorly.
Yeah. So with his house being sold recently, I wonder if the new owner search is going to totally tear up the stuff and rebuild a new, nicer house or something, because it is originally, I think it was a 1957 house. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, because they made it out to her, Wendi Adelson. They still have plenty of money though, and they just sold Charlie's what do you call it, Well Harbor house for over 1.1 billion, and I'm not sure if it still had a mortgage on it. Yeah, when he has mega bugs because of her son's money, she gets a caregiver. Okay. Yeah, I sort of remember the sister being in charge of doling out the money from the life insurance. Oh, yeah, somebody. Oh, you guys, you know what? When I looked up that legal connection place, the first picture actually sort of looked like the Leon County Jail. It was kind of funny. Legal connection in Austin, Texas. If you Google it, you'll see that that picture. Let me show it just for kicks. So legal connection, Austin, Texas. See this picture? Doesn't this look like the Leon County Jail? But then when you click on all the other pictures, of course, it looks like a nice office building. It looks very classy. The first picture looked like the side of the jail. Yeah. Interesting. So, okay, we'll take it off the screen. Do we have any viewers in Austin, Texas? That would be pretty cool. I don't know if the person I know there really wants to drive out the day of the deposition to camp out in the parking lot. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You posted a link to an interview. It was an audio, not a video. And it was a couple of guys, like maybe were they lawyers, interviewing Ruth Markel. And I wanted to thank you for posting that. It was really good. If you know what I'm talking about, that interview.
The Just Pod.
Yeah, that was at Just Pod. And the one guy whenever he mentioned the grandson's names, he said Benjamin, and he said that name. I don't know it. It was a special Amakai.
Yeah, I think that's how you
Yeah,
pronounce
every
it.
time he said his name, he said Benjamin Amakai and Lincoln. And he didn't bother to say Lincoln's middle name, but he kept saying that. And I was just thinking, I bet you Ruth appreciated that.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is I think the interview was actually done a month or two ago, but the main interviewer is an attorney named Justin something like Danilowitz. I can't remember exactly his last name, but he said that he was Dan Markel's mentee. So he talked very glowingly about what a great
That's
friend
right.
and great person
Yeah.
Dan was. And you could just tell that Ruth was so happy to talk with him, and vice versa. He was so glad
Yeah.
to be in touch with Dan's mother. So it I can't even remember the website, but if you just Google JustPod ABA, then you can find the link to listen to the podcast. And I thought what was also cool was that she talked about how her grandchildren would ask her questions about Dan, and
Yeah.
wanted to know more about what Dan liked to do and what was he like when he was their age. So that was
Right. What
so
music?
refreshing
Yeah.
to hear. Yeah,
Yeah. I
because
like
she
that
has
too.
had very limited contact with the children.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah. So, okay, so we'll take that off the screen. Yeah, Fancy Fiction is coming back on YouTube tonight. So, yeah, we'll have to
She
watch the
is?
time.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know
because
that.
yeah, I saw the notification that she's going live at 8, so I'm sure she has lots of
Okay.
juicy information for us as usual. So, yes, Julia, yeah, the deposition, is it March 21st or April? I think it's March 21st. Yeah, they're gonna depose Wendi in Austin. Yeah, and the prosecutors will be on via Zoom. Yeah. So on that note, 2.5 years ago, Joel from STS and Susan from True Lifestyles and we read the transcripts of Wendy's deposition with Kawas and DeCoste. So on Sunday, Bruce and I are gonna go live and react to that. Why not dredge up some old content, because I don't think
Yeah.
that many people watched it back in 2022. But she was very, very evasive. There were so many questions she just refused to answer and kept saying, I assert, I assert, I assert. And people are like, what? Why does she keep saying I assert? It's because she doesn't want to incriminate herself. And some of these like easy questions, like she still refused to answer, such as, did you know Sigfredo? So she didn't even want to answer that. Yeah. So why do we think they canceled? Yeah, I have no idea. I have no clue. Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems, I don't think Pat Sanford would say anything good to help Donna's case. So who knows? Maybe they just figured they would focus on other people's depositions or other work
Right.
instead. Yeah, who knows? Or maybe Pat Sanford couldn't make it and they're like, oh, forget it. He's not that important for us to depose.
They
ahead of
wanted to
time.
depose Sigfredo. Whatever happened with that? Are they still going to depose him?
Yeah.
Sigfredo? He's
Yeah,
not talking. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was weird. I was like, okay, well, I guess they just want to try to see if they can
Right.
get him to say anything. I have no clue, because it
They don't
always
want to
seemed like
leave any
Sigfredo's
stone.
useless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Harvey was there, and I have a short that just came out today, with this little snippet where he's standing off to the side of the screen. So
I
Harvey
saw
was there. Yeah. And then Donna was trying to look over at him when they carted her away after the hearing. So yeah, you do feel sort of sorry, but then it's like, he was probably involved. I don't think there's that much proof against him, but I feel like he was probably involved with getting the money together and providing some of the money from the family safe, because he was allegedly with Donna when they dropped off the cash.
I think my guess is he knew about it. I don't see how he could, just with the money involved. I mean, that was a big chunk of change, right? They
Yeah,
took
they
that
can't.
money over there. Like,
Yeah, he kept track of the money. And did I ever tell you I did talk with another Adelson Institute employee? She worked there way after you did, but she's this woman who showed up to a SDS event, the fundraiser, I guess a year and a half ago. And so she said, "Oh, yeah, Harvey was totally involved with all the finances. Like he kept track of every penny and dime. And, there was nothing true about any idea that, oh, Donna just ran wild and took care of the money. I mean, he was totally involved with the business too. And so I think it's pretty unlikely that they would have removed $100,000 or 130 something thousand in cash and didn't even tell him about it. So they do seem like joined at the hip. So, yeah.
don't you think the longer this case goes on in the motions, the more I see, doesn't it make you realize how bad Rashbaum was for Charlie? Because it just seems like Donna's attorneys are just fighting tooth and nail over everything, every single little bit of evidence against her. I don't remember Rashbaum doing that, trying to fight against everything, but
who knows? But I mean, ultimately now hindsight is 2020. Rashbaum probably shouldn't have even represented Charlie if he was originally Donna and Harvey's attorney. So yeah, but I'm sure he could care less. He's got his money, and hopefully the bar isn't going to do anything against him.
yeah,
I don't think so. Although who knows? I mean, sometimes these bar investigations take a long time to resolve. Yeah. Okay. So would this be their sole case? I would hope so, but you always hear about prosecutors having a very heavy caseload. That's why they don't have time to do YouTube. Like I keep trying to get my prosecutor friend from California to come back on YouTube,
yeah,
and he does not have time because it's just like bam, like one case after another, multiple
yeah.
cases in one day. They don't have time. So I have no idea. Yeah. So do you want to talk about Breathe then?
Yeah.
Let me
I don't
see.
know. Yeah, I don't know a lot about this, so yeah, I'm dying to hear what that girl is doing now.
Okay. Yeah, so the breaking news is that Charlie's son's mother just got arrested yesterday. Yeah, for an alleged assault against someone. I'm guessing it was her live-in boyfriend, for assaulting him on March 11th. So I do have some public records, but some of it does have her like phone number and address, so I have to be careful as to what I
Right. Yeah,
show.
don't show that. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just close some of these tabs because I don't want to accidentally. Yeah, because most people out there already know she was arrested for DUI on January 6th, and then she was supposed to show up to court on January 24th, but she was called and failed, which means she failed to appear. So there was a warrant for her arrest. There was also a warrant for her arrest in Randolph County for the alleged credit card fraud or financial card theft. And so she filed this thing asking for it to be motion and order to strike called and failed, recall order for arrest, and reset case on trial calendar. She said she had been admitted to a rehab/detox facility, so that's why she didn't appear in court that day. So the judge granted her motion, because of the reason she gave. And
Really?
then lo and behold, you know, it's like she just got arrested again, which is really just sad and troubling. I don't know where
She got
her
arrested
child
for
is.
assault. She was arrested the second time for assault. Did you say?
No, it's the first time. Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. I'm closing some tabs so I don't open the wrong one that has
Okay.
the address and stuff on it. Yeah. So this is like, I think this is the most recent filing where it says conditions of release for person charged with a crime of domestic violence. So
Oh,
that she's charged with assault on, stalking, communicating a threat to, or committing a felony, provided blah, 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 on a person she lives or has lived with as married, or person she is or has been in a dating relationship. And
wow.
she shall stay away from the home, school, business, or place of employment of the alleged victim. And she can't remove any property belonging to the alleged victim. She's not supposed to have any contact. I'm assuming it's probably a man that she has been living with.
And she's in North Carolina or one of the Carolinas?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and did her mom move with her from Florida? I mean, I want to know who's watching her little boy while she's in jail for
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
guy.
Yeah. So
Now,
so
mom
it
and
does seem
dad are
like what's
jailbird.
going on here? Yeah, it's like this whole Adelson clan, as Donna said, you know, I swear to God, this whole family is cursed. Well, you know, it's like making bad decisions and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is public record that so in one of the documents where the magistrate judge signed off on the arrest, it did say that the defendant unlawfully and willfully did assault and strike blank. The name of the victim is blacked out by capital letters, scratch and strike with closed fist, causing injuries. So that was on March 11th. So I don't know if she's still in jail, but she has multiple court dates coming up for the Randolph County thing, plus the DWI, and now the simple assault charge. So how's it relevant to this case? Well, people are asking, who do you think is going to show up to support Donna? So I don't think Bree is going to be there because she has so many things going on herself, and she might not be allowed to drive anyway. So yeah.
Wow, I'm just what a mess. I just hate to see that. And then little kids are involved. They're getting all caught in the crossfire. You know, if you have a young child and his father's in jail, meaning he has a single parent, I'm sorry, you don't have the luxury to go around DUI and committing crimes, and like you better sit up straight and be there for that child. I have no sympathy for people who do things that are bad choices of parents, because you know, kids don't ask to be born. They didn't ask to be here, but if they're here, once they're here, you better take care of them. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Bree. I'm not a fan of her.
Yeah. So I don't know about the appeals, but she was clearly very supportive of Charlie from those publicly released jail calls, or
I know, she
still in touch.
wanted to marry him. She asked him to marry her, and there was like crickets. It was like, oh, I was so embarrassed.
That was awkward. Yeah, she later claimed like she was just joking. I'm like, it didn't sound like you were joking.
Yeah, I think
Do you think we should get married? Yeah, that was just weird. Yeah,
but I'm glad she has a boyfriend though. But I hope he's a nice guy and all.
it
But
sounds
I'm
like
glad
he's
she
the
has
guy that. No. I think that he's the guy that she just assaulted, allegedly. Yeah. Because if you look at the previous criminal cases, this man is the one who posted bond for her, but there's no one that shows up in the court file so far as posting bond. So
Oh,
yeah, so this is just what I'm guessing based on the public records and what's up there in the court file and stuff. So, okay, so shall we get to the court records? I mean, the jail records.
yeah.
Okay, so this is all thanks to True Lifestyles because, you know, like some of us YouTubers, we're friendly behind the scenes and stuff, and True has been so nice and kind. And I had offered to help pay for the cost of getting some records, but then she was able to finally get some for free. So she sent them to me, but I was like, nah, I'll let her cover it first on her channel because she went through the trouble of trying to get this stuff. So now
Yeah.
this is kind of old news, but I figured people might still like to see Donna's inmate log. Yeah. So Patty, can you see it?
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually
Do you wanna...
Yeah, I actually opened it up on my other phone and I you want me to read this?
Sure. I guess why not?
Okay. Okay. Inmate was moved in a pod. Okay, the second one here says had a shower and exercise. Okay, 210. Confinement, physical appearance, okay. I'll just go through and look for something interesting.
Something that jumps out at you.
Awake and eating, yeah. Okay, physical appearance, okay. Attitude, okay. Remarks. Inmates are resting and using their tablets. Oh, okay. That's just what they were doing then.
Yeah,
Physical
how nice.
appearance,
They're
okay.
resting and
Attitude.
using their tablets.
Yeah, at approximately 1400 hours this date, Director Dawson received a call from Mrs. Jackie Fulford. Oh, that's her lawyer, in reference to, I think that's the end of, oh no, there's more. Okay. In reference to Mrs. Adelson was unable to use the intercom. I don't know why this cracks me up. She needs to talk to the manager. To use the intercom in her cell to call the pod officer in the event she needed assistance. So she was unable to use her intercom. Okay. Mr. Dawson and I went to speak with Mrs. Adelson and physically show her how to work the intercom in her cell, which was working correctly. Mrs. It just says Mrs. here. Mrs.
Adelson,
stated that she, does it say Adelson there? Am I skipping lines?
No, but I'm sure they meant Mrs.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Adelson stated, okay, that she just needed a brief tutorial on how to use the intercom system and that she was able to use it at the completion of my demonstration. I asked Mrs. Adelson if there was anything else I could do for her, and she stated she was fine and did not need anything else. I left Mrs. Adelson sitting on her bunk doing crossword puzzles. Miscellaneous, mental health, Dawson enters to check on cell 9 speaker to see if it's properly working. Be advised it's working. Had shower and exercise. Inmate Adelson Donna, SPN, whatever this is, and a number, was offered to clean her room and sink out when pod locked down. She advised this officer that she was tired and would, I don't know, is there more on here?
Try again. She would try again with the oncoming morning officer.
And advise the oncoming officer that she needs to clean her room.
Oh, Donna needs to clean her room. That domestic coordinator. Yeah. Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
See, what I find remarkable is that at the hearing, didn't she say that she always showered early, like really early in the morning? But this doesn't show it at all. Like she's showering in the afternoon, or she had one shower at like 8:21. Like she doesn't seem like someone who's scared and trying to avoid some Godzilla.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Do you want to turn the page?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting how they're just keeping track of all her movements. Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, confinement log, physical appearance, okay. So it's always physical appearance, attitude, remarks. The inmates are resting, talking, using their tablets. Okay, resting on bunk quietly, movement observed. Here's another shower, Judy. You're right, and it's 12. It's like noon. It's noon time.
Yeah.
Nurse
11:24.
Pride enters the pod to give medication to inmate Adelson. Donna. Physical appearance, attitude, everything's okay. Resting, no hygiene items are needed. Hygiene items were exchanged. Had a shower again, 9:45. Miscellaneous, inmate Adelson accepted her timeout. Generated from Pod Journal. So she had a timeout. I don't know what
I
that
wish
was
they
for.
wrote why she had a timeout. That's so humiliating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I'm
this is the
reading.
part where she reports being, quote, assaulted.
Yeah, and I'm reading what True Crime Wifey wrote, and that's absolutely true. When she gets to prison, she's going to wish she was back in this Leon County jail. Prison will be a whole nother ball game. Okay, so should we want to read this one? Let's see. February, I was contacted by Ashley Mills in regards to a possible extortion incident. Okay, here it is. Lieutenant Mills advised that defendant Donna Adelson made complaints of being extorted while housed in Unit 5 Annex. At approximately 1500 hours, I made contact with Adelson in the medical supervisor's office to gain information on the alleged incident. I asked Adelson to explain to me what had transpired. Adelson stated the following information in essence. She had been ordering canteen items for the alleged suspect for a couple of months due to her being, what happened? My phone's jumping around here.
Due to her being
Due to her
threatened.
being threatened. The suspect allegedly approached her months ago and told her that if she did not pay her every week, that she would knock her teeth out. The suspect initially grabbed her arm and twisted it behind her while making the threat. She has been ordering $100 worth of canteen for the suspect for weeks. Does that mean $100 a week? That seems like an awful lot. The suspect does not retrieve the items from her directly, but she sends her friends to retrieve the items from Adelson. She stated that the transactions are always made in the bathroom area where there are no cameras located. She stated that she is really in fear of the suspect and did not want to say anything. She stated that she would just keep paying the suspect to ensure her safety and keep down confusion. She stated that she informed the doctor of this information in hopes that the doctor would keep the conversation confidential. She did not want to be relocated from Unit 5, and she stated that she was fine just paying the suspect because she did not want to be moved to Pod, I think that says M. Yeah. I then asked Adelson to provide me with the name of the suspect, to which she refused. I advised Adelson that I could not assist her with the incident if she did not provide me any information. I then asked if she could recall when the situation initiated. She replied, "No, I don't remember." Then she stated that she does not want to provide the name of the person because she is scared of her. I informed her that we could place a separation on her and the suspect if she provided the name, to which she refused. Adelson stated that she was not going to say anything and that she did not want to be moved. I informed her that she was going to be relocated to protective custody so that we could ensure that she is safe. I asked again, would she provide a name? I kind of lost my place. Oh, to provide the name of the person. Adelson said she was not going to say anything and that she did not want to be moved. I informed her that she was going to be relocated. Oh, I read that. Yeah, okay. I asked again, would she provide a name or any information about the suspect, to which she replied no. She continually stated that she just I have to say I agree with her because she's saying that this person had a lot of friends, like maybe 6 different girls that would come in to pick up the canteen. So even if Donna gave the name, they would move that lady, but all her friends might still want to beat her up. She wanted to call her husband. Since Adelson failed to cooperate and provide any information of her alleged claim, I am unable to identify a suspect. Lieutenant Mills placed the defendant on protective custody and completed a report of the incident. This information will be attached to the initial report as a supplemental. Any further information will be documented in additional supplemental reports. So do you think there's any chance she's making this up, that she doesn't want to identify the person because it didn't really happen?
Think so. I mean, just based on what I've heard about Donna being a compulsive liar, and, you know, it just seems like she's making this up after the fact so she can get more privacy while she rehearses her lines and prepares for trial.
Yeah, I was wondering that
because,
too.
you know, she's supposed to has her reputation, from what I've heard, of being manipulative and controlling and
So she doesn't say
self-centered.
the name, they can't check to see if it's really true. And it's just like Wendi making up lies about like banana bread, and Donna gave Dan a hug and asked him to babysit. Like she's can feel free to make up things because they can't. Dan's not here. Dan's not here to say that never happened. But when they hear those emails and everything, I think everybody is going to know what a ridiculous lie that was. And also, Wendi didn't even come up with that till the 2nd or 3rd trial, right?
Yeah, it wasn't until Charlie's trial that and she, you know, she even asked him to babysit, and she made banana bread for him and gave him a hug. You know, just even the whole way she said it just seems so phony and like,
yep,
oh,
it
come on.
did.
Do you think that we're all idiots that you can pull one over us? You know, it just seems so contrived.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, you don't have to read all of this. Thank you so much, Patty. But I
Oh,
don't want to wear you out.
I can. I didn't see it though. Do you want me to?
We'll just summarize that this is what we already
Okay.
heard, which is when she also said that somebody, you know, demanded that she order canteen for this person, and she refused to provide the inmate name.
Right.
She said she was too afraid.
Right.
So she was seen by a charge nurse.
Yeah.
And
it's just so ironic. If you remember the jail call with Charlie saying that there's feces all over the walls and the ceiling, and you can't see out any windows, and how horrible. And she's like saying, well, when they move you out of there, you're going to feel better. Like, and a week later, she's in the same predicament.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're where they belong, in my opinion. So I don't feel sorry for her or Charlie. So, yeah. Hi, Kim. She says, yeah, I mean, she has a mom, and I don't think she has any siblings.
I think she has a mother. I think I've read something about her mom. But that's the only family I would know.
Yeah. And of course, there's that cousin that she had a big falling out with. So I think that's the cousin that caused her to become charged with the financial theft or financial card theft. Because she said on her Facebook group that Bree had allegedly taken her credit cards and charged them without her permission. So, yeah, so it's weird. I'm just thinking, like, I guess the Adelsons are not giving her enough money then. Maybe she's just getting a little bit for child support, but they're not giving her tons of money where she can rent her own house or rent her own condo. And, you know, it seems like she's still struggling.
Yeah. Shame on them.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like a tough position to be in, because the only way she's going to get money is if she continues being buddy with Charlie and, acting like she's still on Donna's side and taking her phone calls. And I don't know if they're really talking that much these days. Guess we'll have to look for
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder.
lifestyles to get us some more phone logs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it did seem like she was really chummy with Donna for a while. Well, you could hear it in Donna's jail calls with Charlie. She'd be saying, like, maybe her other line would ring and she'd say, "Oh, it's Bree calling me. Well, I'll talk to her after." It just seemed like they were really chummy with each other.
Yeah. Totally enmeshed also. Yeah, she said on YouTube that Harvey and Donna were like the best grandma and grandpa. And she also made it sound like Charlie was the best dad ever too. I'm like, geez, that doesn't sound like it's accurate based on what other stuff we've heard and seen. So, okay, so I think we're done with this. This was only 6 pages, the jail records. So thanks to True Lifestyles. Please
Yeah,
subscribe.
that's true.
Yeah.
She gets the goods.
Mhm. Yeah. Let's see. So with the trust for Roman theater, probably not. I
Oh,
mean, because I think it's all tied together since the child is so little. So if she misbehaves and doesn't take their phone calls and doesn't seem supportive of Charlie and Donna anymore, I'm sure Harvey's not going to continue giving her money if that were to happen. Yeah. So it sounds like she's still enmeshed with the family now. Yeah. Bree said that after, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's stuff that I had done a live stream about years ago. Yeah. Wendi is the executive. Oh, okay. Or the guardian. Yeah, I kind of feel like ultimately, wasn't it Harvey's relative with the last name Mintz who became the person in charge of the trust? I'm not sure. I
yeah.
remember his name
I don't know.
also.
Hey, Annie. Yeah, because they wouldn't. Why would they put Wendi in charge of it? She might. Well, they don't think she's going to go to jail. That's why.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like Wendy really wanted much to do with them because that makes her look guiltier if she's still hanging out and supporting Charlie and helping him out. And yeah. So, okay. Well, it's been over an hour. Did you want to touch on the Jeffrey Lacasse issue? I guess
Yeah,
you hadn't seen that
I
new
haven't. I haven't seen
Unprotected.
all of the true crime metrics. I think that's his name. I haven't seen everything that he posted yet,
Mhm.
but I do know
Yeah.
he posted something that had all of Jeffrey Lacasse's interview, including what had been redacted by other people who posted it.
Yeah. And, I just initially felt so bad for Jeff because, mentor lawyer, aka James, Deep Dive True Crime, he
Uh,
previously did post the police interviews of Lacasse, but he had edited certain sensitive, more salacious parts of the interview out
mhm.
just out of respect for Jeff. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot of like really salacious things like sexual references, very, you know, surprising to me. I mean, but that was all stuff I actually already knew about because somebody behind the scenes had
Mhm.
emailed me the transcripts years ago.
Mhm.
But you just feel so bad for Jeff because he's been through so much and it's very stressful and
Yeah.
it's embarrassing for him. And, how the heck did he even get involved in this? He was just a professor at Florida State and then he met Wendi Adelson and this whole
Yeah.
thing happened. So I just feel really sad for him and hope he knows that so many
Me
people
too.
support him and we believe him. And some people online have said some things like, oh, he seems creepy, or he still seems like stalkerish, or, he seems real weird. But I didn't think he I didn't think
Oh,
he seemed weird at all.
those are Adelson PR people because that's ridiculous. Yeah, he wasn't creepy at all. He's honorable. He's honorable. He's honest. He has guts. He had a traumatic situation, and he stood up. He stood up and did the right thing. Everything. They try to make him look bad. They say he says how Charlie was such a thug, right, in the hot tub, and then, oh, and you sent him this text the next day, the text saying, oh, hope I get to see you again. Thanks for having me. Like, they're trying to make him seem like a genuine liar, and yet it made total sense to me. This was the brother of his girlfriend that he's really serious. He wants to sound
he wants to give off a good friendly impression. So of course he's not going to come right out and say, my alarm bells were ringing, you creep. Why are you talking about violating your girlfriend and being a crude creep or anything. So yeah. I mean, it's pretty oh, thank you so much, Annie. Thank you. It's so true that Wendi had to spell, like he said, she had some sort of aura, where even Tim Jansen said he found her mesmerizing, and he only talked to her for what, like a few minutes at the courthouse one time. Yeah, but she knows how to get those men, especially the older men, all like salivating.
Yeah. She has her tools and she uses them.
Yeah. But it is pretty striking how he referred to her multiple times as, I think she's a sociopath. Like, she's just this cold-hearted, very calculating person, and she seems great for the first 100 hours that you deal with her. People think she's such an awesome person, but it was just him and Dan Markel who finally, saw her true self and how mean she could be. Yeah.
I just wonder how the boys are. I mean, when they only have one parent and that's her, like, I don't know. I feel so bad for those boys, but
thank you all for being here.
They need talented therapists, and maybe if we can just get Wendi in jail. Boy, if they can get Wendi in jail, then something there has to be a change, right? The boys would have to go to somebody, but Wendi still gets to pick who. That's the thing. And the boys haven't even seen Dan's grave. That just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That Wendi thinks so little of their father, she wouldn't even take them up there. Like,
yeah. And I wonder how she explains to the kids why they barely get to see their paternal grandparents. Why does it always have to be in such a controlled atmosphere with a third party person being there?
Oh, I know.
Wendi being behind the scenes staring, or, like, why can't the kids be left alone to have normal grandparent time like they did with Harvey and Donna? It's bizarre. Right. Like, how does she explain it to them that, oh, they're not nice people, or they think I did something?
How did she explain to the boys that when Donna got arrested? I thought I read somewhere that Wendi told them she implied mental illness, like that their grandmother was mentally ill.
Yeah, like, who knows? Maybe she just said, like, she needs a break. She has a mental breakdown. But now it's all in the news, and the kids are, they're full-fledged teenagers. So I'm sure they know for sure now that Donna is also in jail, charged with the same crimes as Uncle Charlie.
And I wonder if they believe it, or if they still believe that they're innocent and they've been, like, framed or whatever they're telling them. I don't know. And didn't someone say, someone said that after Charlie got arrested and was in jail, Benjamin was writing to him all the time.
Yeah.
Ew, that's scary.
Yeah. I don't know if it was all the time, but for a while there, the son was writing letters to Uncle Charlie, but I'm pretty sure that stopped. Which is a good thing.
Yeah. And Charlie would be telling him all kinds of lies, like I'm so innocent. I didn't do this. I was extorted.
Well,
Double
that
extortion.
story just sounded so ridiculous. You know, you even had Carl Steinbeck laughing on the live stream show when he heard that. So, yeah, I finally saw that STS episode where Carl was laughing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, so it's been way over an hour and we have Fancy Fiction's live stream starting soon, so I probably need to get some work done and get some food. But
All
Patty,
right.
are
Okay.
you still planning on going to the trial?
Yes, I am, and I better hurry up and make my hotel reservation. I've not made it yet, but I've been looking at Airbnbs. They're like closer to the courthouse, but I know that one motel I was at last time was nice. So that I originally was going to go to some Airbnb, and it turned out being in an area that looked a little bit scary, so I didn't stay there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Gotta
I
be
don't know, but
safe.
yeah, I better hurry up and make that reservation though, because although at least this time we're not competing with FSU football. No, not FSU. UF. No, that's
Huh?
Gainesville. University.
FSU is there.
FSU. Sorry, I couldn't get my letters right. FSU.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Yeah. So in terms of upcoming stuff, so on Sunday, maybe around 6 p.m. Eastern, Bruce and I will go live and react to the reading of Wendy's deposition, part 1. And I don't know what else to do because, like I said, you know, people only want to hear about Adelson stuff. Like when I cover other cases, the views are way lower. But on the other hand, you know, I have tons of like work and a couple of bench trials coming up next month, and I have to save my voice and stuff. So maybe I'll just make some fun shorts in the next month.
You're good. Your shorts are the best, especially the music.
Thank you, Patty. Thanks for saying
that. Are you going to go to the trial for sure?
Not 100% sure, but probably at least like 80% sure because I still have Delta flight credits from the last time from September.
That's good.
Yeah, so I still have the credit to use. But I think I've mentioned that my nephew is graduating from high school, so I kind of have to go to the graduation, which is out of state. Yeah. So I'm like, darn it, you know, I have these family obligations and plus work.
Yeah.
But I also really want to go to Donna's trial at least a few days. So yeah, but I'm sure we'll be in touch. I'll try to coordinate, you know, the times so that hopefully we can see each other in person and
that'll be great. Yeah.
Have a celebration dinner.
Oh, that's
where nobody's throwing up over the table. Yeah. Thank you guys. Sorry I didn't get to see all the questions and stuff. I saw those places Charlie used to go in Asia where you put your feet in a fish pond. They can cause terrible infections. Gross. Okay, I've never even thought of doing something like that. That sounds disgusting. Thank you, Kelsey. Yeah. Okay, any last words out there for the people who care about Dan Markel?
No, just justice for Dan. Keep your nose on the prize. Keep focused. We're going to get Donna, and then they're going to get Wendi. I don't know about Harvey, but boy, I think they're going to get Wendi. I think they have WhatsApp stuff. So it's getting exciting, you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
And, I mean, even Dave Ehrenberg, who is a former state attorney for Palm Beach or West Palm Beach. Yeah, so he feels optimistic that Wendi will be next if Donna is convicted. So I feel confident about that. And I think other attorneys like Stephen Webster also seems pretty confident and optimistic that Wendi will get arrested if Donna's convicted first. So let's just keep hoping the case isn't over yet.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Get them, Georgia. She'll get them.
Cool. Thank you guys for being out there and still caring about justice for Dan. So Patty, why don't you stay on a minute and we'll go ahead and say goodbye. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Okay, see you Sunday maybe. Okay.